Alright, welcome everybody to the High School Star League of Legends preseason summer tournament. And this is going to be the winners bracket finals between High School for Health Professions and Northview High School. I'm CrusaderKitten, and I'm joined by Zirene. I'm going to be a cast for today. Go ahead and say hi.
Hey everybody, how you doing?
And so like I said, it's High School for Health Professions versus Northview High School. Sorry about that. Winners bracket finals. So winner of this goes on to something.
The grand finals. They go on to the grand finals.
Okay, winner of this goes on to the grand finals. It's a best of 3. So, a lot on the line here. Of course, the loser goes down to what? Losers bracket finals?
The loser goes down to the losers bracket finals, which will happen once the losers bracket is completed all the way out. And we got into the picks and bans here, and we see Lee Sin being the first ban, and that's definitely targeted against Lee Sin, because that guy has about 430 Lee Sin ranked games played. And that is quite impressive, because he's also, I believe, at the Challenger. No, he's a Diamond 1 player. So definitely a targeted ban there. And the first pick we see coming out here is Shen, who actually I thought was going to be very contested this game, because I believe there's about 3 players in this game that actually favor Shen in their top 3. And just a little note here, so High School Health Professions is going to be on the left side of your screen, and on the right side of your screen is going to be Northview High School, and Northview High School throughout this entire tournament has not dropped a single game. They haven't lost a single game in any of their best of 3s, whereas High School for Health Professions has had 2 best of 3s end in a 2 wins, 1 loss. So, not sure if NHS is going to be able to keep up their perfect win streak, or if they're just going to roll through this entire tournament 2-0 on everything. Now,
yeah, and High School for Health Professions is quite the team. I mean, they have like challenger tier players and like Diamond 1s and stuff. These are really high skilled guys, and being in high school, I really wish I could be like them. Anyways. So we do have that Shen being picked up first, going to provide some good global pressure. Just thinking about globes, we still have what? Twist Fates open, THIS, I guess. You could always go for that the Nocturne, things like that. So might be seeing those globals coming off here, although you might just go for a bit of a stand team. Just Shen is strong in general, really good for any team comp. So it looks like these 2 picks for Northview High School going to be Nami and Maokai. And most likely Maokai going in on that jungle, and Nami going for the support. So Maokai jungle is actually something really interesting, because it hasn't been played as much as it used to be back when it was super strong, and the Autumn was absolute god on that. What do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
well, I feel like Maokai kind of fell off because he wasn't so much of a carry jungler as he was a support jungler. He got in there and he would root people so that you could kill them. And that kind of fell out of style. Now we want junglers who can actually dish out some damage while having a lot of HP. So people like J4 who have the Martial Cadence passive, which does percent HP damage. Also people like Lee Sin have come into favor and things along those lines, because his Resonating Strike also does percent HP of that they're missing. And then Elise came in with percent HP. So they've really started to favor these characters that have some kind of CC, some kind of high damage ability that's based off of HP, so they can build their own HP while still being effective in team fights. It looks like we're going to have a Fiddlesticks locked in here for Stanley as well. And that is most likely going to be a support Fiddlesticks.
Oh, wow.
It's quite possible that could be a Middlesticks, or I don't think we're going to see a jungle, because that would put a Moo somewhere else.
Yeah.
But this is
AP Moo, it's so strong, isn't it?
Yeah, and we're going to see a Vayne locked in pretty much immediately there.
Yeah.
I believe that's his second most played ADC, and that
they're very happy for that pick.
Oh yeah, Vayne is very strong right now. Her Silver Bolts are out of control. Her Condemn, ever since they changed the range to better represent her auto attack range, because it used to be shorter than her auto attack range. So if you would condemn somebody, you'd have to walk forward to condemn them. So it wasn't a very good disengage tool. And then they buffed it to be 650, which is 100 more than her actual range, and then they nerfed it to be her range. So there's not that little discrepancy now between her auto attack range and her condemn range. So she got a huge buff, and that's why she's seen a surge in play. And then we're finally going to see that Elise locked in there in the lane. It's going to be a lane Elise.
Whoa. Well, no, but I think I want to talk about High School for Health Professions really quickly. Because look at this, like, they have so much AoE coming out from these guys here. We're going to be seeing the Misfortune and the Sona coming out. So you have that Chris the Sad Bullet Time coming in there, and you can just add on the Crescendo as well as the Crowstorm there. And yeah, going back to that lane release, that's definitely going to be an interesting pick here. So could be going top or mid. It will depend on this last pick for Lee Shin here. He was hovering over KO, which would have been pretty interesting. Looks like he might go for this Zed.
Yeah, and I think they were saving their middle for last pick because they weren't sure where that Fiddlesticks was going to go, and you really want to counter out the mid if you see a Shen locked in first, because if they lock in a Shen and a Twisted Fate, you need to lock in something like Zed that can blow up Twisted Fate and can roam just as hard and wave clear without being mana dependent, because that's a really hard counter to Twisted Fate. But he's going to lock in that Zed anyway, it seems, which is still a good pick versus Fiddlesticks. Can't really interrupt him, his life drain and things like that, but can still do a lot of damage to him and wave clear a little better than he can as well. And also roam, I believe.
So this does mean it's just it's a lane Fiddlesticks. It's most likely middle six there. And Fiddlesticks, he has pretty good roam. You do have to kind of eliminate all the wards, of course, but he's just kind of that champion where you two are like, you get out of like a really nice engage on bottom lane, he's super low, and then all of a sudden Fiddlesticks comes out of the brush and picks up a double kill. Because that's just what he does, and that's just he's so strong, especially his ganks, his map presence. When he comes into team fights, he'll be really, really good, especially with the team that he has with him, as well as just being a Shen in this game is gonna be really good because you have a Fiddlesticks roaming down, you can also have a Shen getting the same night in there. However, looking over at Northview High School, they actually have a Maokai, which is kind of a strong counter to the AoE that we have because he has an AoE damage reduction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his Vengeful Maelstrom prevents damage dealt to his teammates if they're in that little area as well. So I think everything is going to be happening in a tiny little area, though, if High School Health Professions has their way. Because I think Northview is going to look for more skirmishes off on the side, because they have a Vayne, they have a Zed, they have an Elise who's all single target damage, aside from her Volatile Spiderling. And then, yeah, that really looks like what it's going to be. They're going to look for picks over on Northview, as opposed to a huge all-out team fight. But if it does happen, they will have the Vengeful Maelstrom to soak up some of the damage. The question is High School Health Professions going to get far enough ahead in the laning phase that their AoE is just going to make that first team fight that comes out a 5-0? And I'm not sure how it's going to go.
Yeah, Northview High School definitely has that single target damage, really good strong pickoffs. Of course, Vayne is kind of a late game monster, so they might just try to go for that late game. Although it will be questionable because they will have to be picking up like the Aegis, which goes into lock-in now, which is gonna be really, really good versus that AoE, and they definitely do have to pick that up. And so just getting and they really just have to be careful of all the AoE that can come out of High School for Health Professions, because oh my gosh, their team is just ridiculous. So we can go ahead and take down the summoner block, because I'm not too sure if you've done that already. However, go ahead and take those down, and we do see that there's a barrier on the Fiddlesticks, which is pretty interesting because that's just obviously a lot more defense. He does lose quite a bit of
kill potential
damage.
We'll call it
kill potential damage. And the other thing is, I'm wondering, guys, who was it? I know it was one team where they went Fiddlesticks. It was either Coast or Velocity. I think it was Coast. Where they went like a tank Fiddlesticks, pretty much. So like he'd go in with his ultimate and he'd be like super tanky, and then
but that was from
no
the
matter
jungle,
what they
wasn't
did.
It?
I think so, but you could still do it mid lane. I mean, you already have enough AoE that you don't need too much burst because you already have like a bullet time coming in.
That's true. I think they do need a little bit more on the damage side, though. They are going to have two tanks with Shen and Amumu.
That's true.
So if they can actually lock people up and CC them long enough, they won't have to worry about Fiddlesticks being untanky. I think he'd go for something like a Zhonya's, and having that barrier is going to protect him a little bit against Lee Shin's Zed. And Korea for Life actually made a really good choice here and took Cleanse as opposed to Barrier on his Vayne, because that's gonna be very helpful here, because there's the CC from Amumu, there's CC from Sona, Fiddlesticks, and Shen, and he really needs to get out of all of that. It will hinder him a little bit in lane if he does go into extended trades with MF, because Misfortune can do a lot of damage with that double up and then actually pop her own barrier and come out on top very early. So not sure how that's going to work out for Korea for Life, but if they can get out of the laning phase really strongly and get into those team fights and actually pick people off beforehand, then I think Northview might go 2-0 in this like they've done every other game. And also just just to like throw it out there are subs in this game for High School for Health Professions that I know of, so they don't have their A roster on right now.
Yeah.
So
Nope. That.
Hmm?
Okay, no, go on.
No, I wasn't gonna say anything. Go ahead.
Okay, well, even with that, they still just have a strong lineup in general. Because looking over at well, Nexus, they're all diamonds on the side of Northview High School, and High School for Health Professions is diamonds, plats, and then a gold 5. Yeah, that's probably me, dude. Like I'm gold 5. I could be him. I could probably be playing in this.
That could be you.
I'm kinda sad they didn't ask me to sub for them. Wow.
Oh, do you go to their high school?
No, I don't. I'm just kidding.
Well, then no.
Okay, anyways, this game will surely be interesting. Do you think there'll be any level 1 engages at all?
If there is a level 1 engage coming out, I'm gonna say that High School for Health Professions is gonna be the one. They have a lot of CC at level 1. They could have the fear. They have the damage from Sona with the power cord if she gets the Hymn of Valor first. They have the double up from Misfortune. Then they can have the Shadow Dash taunt from Shen as well as the Bandage Toss from Mumu for an engagement. So they have a lot of power coming their way. But at the same time, Northview has the Twisted Advance. They have the Cocoon. They have the Aqua Prison. They have a lot of damage as well from Zed, who, he doesn't have a whole bunch of damage early, but the Aqua Prison is really what I want to talk about there. That is a huge level 1 tool that can CC all 5 people, and it is just absurd. You can't cleanse out of it because it's a knock-up. Tenacity doesn't affect it, so that is something that is going to be very deadly if you can land those. But in the level 1, people aren't going to have those stats. But I still give it over to the High School for Health Professions. Their team just looks really scary CC-wise. And level 1, it's all about the auto attacks. If you guys just get in there and auto attack, if they can't auto attack you back, or if the Fiddlestick Sphere makes them start running towards you instead, we're going to have one of those really interesting level 1s where maybe more than one kill gets picked up. I'm not sure. And looks like the game is ready to go right now, and we are inside.
Yeah, and looks like we'll be seeing these early buys coming out. And quite a few Doran's diamonds. Let's go ahead and go over this. It does look like up in this top lane, Shen's gonna be going for that Doran's shield. And to match him, Lee's gonna be going for that Fairy Charm. Both junglers going for those Hunter's Machete. Mid lane, we'll be seeing Doran's ring start for that Fiddlesticks, as well as Zed gonna be going for Rejuve beads. And bot lane looks actually pretty much the same thing. We're seeing all consumables for supports, Doran's blade starts for AD carries. So, okay, yeah. There's a little bit of scouting out from these teams right here, but other than that, there's a weird place like that Legion is sitting right on top of, but I don't think that'll matter too much. It's pretty much like that's like the Wraith Ward that they wanted to put down, but Legion was just there to stop it. We're gonna get a pause coming off. Hopefully we'll get that. Someone's lagging apparently.
Yeah, someone's lagging.
Hopefully we'll get that resolved.
And apparently it's all good. Not gonna put up a little screen because they know where the ward is already. The Legion saw it. But I want to talk about that Rejuve bead that he took, because that only builds into so many different things that a Zed can utilize. I think if he's gonna use it at all, it'll end up being a Tiamat into a Ravenous Hydra. But I've been talking with a lot of Zed players, and they say that it's kind of a waste to build Ravenous Hydra. It's not a very good item. It doesn't complement his kit too well. I mean, there's already a really great 6-slot build for Zed out there, where you get the Last Whisper, you get the penetration from the Brutalizer into the Black Cleaver, you get Blade of the Ruined King, because that does so much damage combined with his ultimate. It doesn't matter how much tankiness the other person has. You basically will do 30% of their life with the Blade of the Ruined King plus your ultimate. So you just blow people up with that. Then you get something like a Guardian Angel, you get your boots, and then your last item is really up for what does the other team have. If they have double AP, I go for a Mauve Malmortius from a Hex Drinker, or if I need something in terms of more tankiness, I can go for a Frozen Mallet. But it really will take away from his penetration build if he goes for something like that. And I think he needs that versus this team, because they're going to have two very good tanks.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to be the Zed going top lane and Elise in the mid. So, I mean, I feel like that doesn't change too much. Of course, Zed might be a little bit stronger than Shen. I think he doesn't really have anything to stop the Stand United, except obviously tons of damage, but that won't be able to just stop Shen from porting away. And at least did have that Cocoon. So I'm not too sure if they were thinking of that or maybe just thinking, you know, that's felt like that's what they felt like they wanted to. And already balling quite a bit of trading
Yeah, there's
coming
already
up
a
here.
lot of trading coming out there. And the Shen versus Zed matchup, I actually give it in the favor of Shen usually. I mean, he did just take a big, not a big nerf, but a minor nerf to his feint, because now it absorbs less per level. So it's kind of took a hit on his durability there. But Shen has a lot of sustain. Zed, on the other hand, does not. So that's probably why he took that rejuve bead now that I think about it. So, but no, when they do trades and extended trades, Shen usually comes out on top with his key strike and his feint combined with all of his kit and his Vorpal Blades. Oh, down bottom, landed an Aqua Prison there.
Yeah, quite a bit of damage coming off here. Both supports getting pretty low. Looks like Chi going to be taking the worst part of that trade here. Does have, you know, his heal to heal himself up. Same thing for Supreme Jerry on Sona though, so we'll be having to see how that goes down. But yeah, already really aggressive bottom lanes.
Yeah, luckily they're both sustained though, so they're just gonna heal that right back up, use a little bit of their mana, those biscuits that they had going. Oh, another Aqua Prison.
Yeah, Ha-Jin gonna be taking this damage, and she is solo from this one. Flashes away. Ha-Jin picks up the first blood. Career for Life was exhausted. Used Cleanse to get it off here. Barry coming off from Ha-Jin. Career for Life flashing away. The attack wasn't able to finish it off.
Too
and the
greedy.
carries trade the kills there.
Too
it's a double kill.
I would have backed off. MF went a little too ham on that one. He had the barrier, but he went a little too hard. Got the double kill though, but
in the mid lane, gank coming up onto Stanley. Quite a bit of CC coming down, lots of damage. Stanley under the tower. There's a fear going up onto Korea Bread. Cleanse, however, able to pick up the kill, and then we'll use that repel to get out of there. So a very quick gank coming in, and gonna be able to get that kill over for Cleanse.
And you said Cleanse, and I was like the summoner spell. No, it's the person's name. Oh wow! Scythian up top gets a really nice bandage toss, pretty much from max range there on Lishan.
I'm a little bit surprised because there's a ward right there, so.
Yeah, Lishan was aware of it. He threw a Living Shadow into the bush to check for a Mumu. And oh, here comes the trading. The Ignite's down.
Frankoon with the taunt in there. Of course, you do take reduced damage from the targets that you've taunted, so was able to get a little bit better of that trade here. But looks like Korea Bread wants to get a gank in here. Lane's pushed up a bit, may not be able to do this.
Yeah, but Okran Kun has no idea that he's there. Bread. Yeah, I call them Okran Bread because Korea Bread is the one who's ganking. I'm shipping them together already. You know, Maokai just wants the hug.
Korea Bread.
Yeah.
Korea Bread for life, dude.
Korea Bread for life?
Yes, this is good.
I wonder if they have a bread there that's like specific to Korea.
That would be interesting, I'm not sure.
A Korean bread.
Korean. I guess that's going to be a thing anyways.
We'll have to ask him after the game where he got his name. Or if it's just something that he just came up with. So yeah, it looks like first backs coming out here. Both ADCs going for that Vamp Scepter, wanting that lane sustain, but Misfortune opting to get boots as well, as opposed to more damage. And, you know, that'll come in handy because Vayne has that chase potential. Oh, wow, down bottom, though. They're extending a little too much. Korea Bread coming up here.
Coming up. The Condemned did go down onto Ha-Jin. Warden's going to be coming in here. Ha-Jin's a little bit trapped in here. We'll begin to snare off onto him. Ha-Jin is able to pick up the last hit onto Chi to pick up the kill. However, kill did go over to Career for Life onto Ha-Jin. Was able to get 2 assists from that one, so might have been a little bit more worth for that trade. And of course, 80 carry versus support, and we'll be seeing Career for Life able to take a bit of a CS advantage.
Yeah, and so the level 6 is coming out here for both top laners here. Lishan is kind of low. He does have his Ignite available. Uses the Living Shadow to get away from that one. And now, looks like down bottom, because they traded a support for an ADC, Korea for Life is actually going to end up really happy with that trade. He's going to get ahead in the CS. But yeah, Ha-Jin going to come back in a lane right now, clear up a little bit of this. Oh, the junglers going to see each other right there, placing wards right by one another. Not sure if Amumu actually saw that ward come out. I mean, if Elise saw Amumu's ward, because he placed it right over the wall into the bush.
Yeah. Well, anyways, other items coming in here. Does look like Elise is going for that standard magic penetration build that most Elises like to buy. Get, you know, sword shoes, tuck shoes, and then the hunting guys, which build into something else. And well, I always mind blank on that item. Anyways, really good item for Elise. Very strong items for Elise. You know, Elise you'll do lots of damage with that, and you know we'll get the assassinations coming off from her.
Yeah, I'm not sure what she's going to build that Fairy Charm into, because she's Elises usually tend to go for that penetration build, like you were saying, like the Haunting Guys and then the Sork Shoes. And I don't know what she's going to build that Fairy Charm into. She just wants that, I guess, the mana for the early game. I think that's what she's going for here. But I don't know if she's going to build that into something like a Philo Stone, or maybe even into a Spirit Stone and then into a jungling item, because that's very possible as well. Because that has come out for at least multiple times. Maybe she'll go for something like a Spirit of the Ancient Golem for more durability, and also for the tenacity, because there's so much CC on the side of high school for health professions that if you do build something like, oh wow, we're going all in here in the middle.
Oh, it's going to be coming in on to Stanley here. Repel coming off. Akari-kun does get in there. Cleanse. Oh, the flash away from the top. Can he get away? Flash in from Akari-kun. Ignite does get dropped. Scythian on the side, not going to win the bandage chance, but Akari-kun does pick up the kill with the Whirlpool Blade. So could it be nice for him? Very, very nicely done there with that Stand United. Yeah, and right from the top lane, Lee Sin is pushing.
And that was a lot of summoners blown there from Okarin. He came in, he blew his flash, blew his ignite. He's not going to have those versus Lee Sin now, and that kind of hinders his kill potential, not having that ignite and that flash up against Zed. You know, Zed doesn't have his... Oh, and speaking of kill potential, he's just going to use the turret instead.
Yeah, that's something that happens when you kind of push that tower and Shen's right now. He uses the taunt to take quite a bit of damage from the tower. So, might be seeing a bit more trade to Lee Sin is ahead in CS though.
Yeah, but I don't know how long that's going to last now.
Wow, look how aggressive he's
Shadow
getting.
Dash is back up. If Okarin waits for his energy to regen, he might be able to... Oh!
No, the ultimate is going to be coming in from Lee Sin, the death mark in there. I don't think as much damage as you really hope for. The Shadow Dash is going to be missing, and the Ignite does go down onto Okarin. And under the tower from Lee Sin. Oh, but the
no!
Dragon picks up the kill.
And meanwhile, down in the jungle, we've had this huge chase going on. Korea Bread re-engaging.
Yeah, you see Supreme Jared gonna get snared down. Cleanse meanwhile putting some damage onto Stanley. There's a Shen coming off, not gonna hit anybody. Now Cleanse gonna be putting off the damage, jumps in there, picks the kill on Supreme Jared. Might be as well onto Scythian there. Korea Bread with the Twisted Advance to pick up that kill.
And that was a 3v2, but they ended up losing nobody for the 2 and 2 for the 3. That's ridiculous. Oh, the bounces! Oh!
Yeah, that's a little dangerous.
Oh, that was incredible. Up top, though, that was really unexpected, considering that Okarin didn't have Flash or Ignite. Lee Sin actually flashed out a little prematurely there, and I don't know if he's 100% used to Zed, because when you have a level 6 ultimate from Zed, it only does 20% of all the damage you dealt, and it doesn't do that huge burst until you have level 16 and that max rank of it. Like level 11 it does a little bit more. I believe it goes from 20 to 35, it gets 15% per rank, and then at max rank it's 50% of all the damage you did. So it only did 20% of the damage that he did to Shen, and it doesn't give you that huge tank destroying burst that we're so used to seeing later on in the game. So Zed kind of has that ramp up for that. And because it's also a top Zed, he's not going to have that roaming potential that I thought they were going to have. Because if you go to other lanes as Zed, it's much easier to do that.
Brett going to be going on to Supreme Jerry here. Has the ultimate going down. Damage does come off here. Tower Wave as well on the Supreme Jerry. Korea life able to get in there. Korea Brett picks up the kill. Scythian and then get stunned up against the wall. He's still chasing after. Meanwhile, Hajin trying to get onto G here, but G is still alive after that one. Now Hajin is in a bit of trouble. Bear does come out. There's a bullet time coming down. Gonna be able to pick up the kill on Korea for life. However, it does go down to Korea Bread. Now Scythian versus Korea Bread. She is on the outside. There's a nice Aqua Prison, but the Standing Knight comes out. And Korea Bread wants to get away from this one. Style dash, but no, the Banish shot does land. Can they pick up this kill? Scythian goes down to Korea Bread. She looks like he might be able to get away after that one. Scythian going a little bit too aggressive with the amount of HP that he had there.
And I'm not sure if that was the best idea there, actually walking away by Okarin. His Ignite had 2 more seconds left on it. He was going to lose that top turret regardless, so maybe pursuing using the Ignite and throwing another Vorpal Blade could have been the death of Maokai there. It would have cut the healing from the ebb and flow down to half, and then he would have just thrown that last one in, because his Ignite does 230 damage, and he only had 230 HP left. So throw another Vorpal Blade on top of that would have been probably would have been all right, but it looks like Vayne disconnected there, but had a really good fight in the meantime. You know, did a lot of damage there, did stand in the bullet time, just the very edge of it though.
Yeah. It's yeah, so looking over at items now, we're seeing pretty much standard items, of course. We're seeing the magic pen on the least. We're gonna be seeing that filled on his hourglass, of course. AD carries, I do think Vayne, oh no, Vayne actually doesn't have enough to pick up the Bloodthirster yet. Miss Washington's a little bit ahead of her there. I don't know, pretty much everything standard coming off from here. Junglers definitely looks like Maokai has that advantage. Already has that Spirit of the Ancient Golem as well as the Boots Mobility, so and he's been ganking a lot, and he's really been making huge plays from those ganks. He's 4-0-3 right now.
Yeah, he's 4-0-3. That puts him up there with pretty much almost 100% kill participation, just missing out on 1 kill on his team because they have 8 kills and he has 7 in terms of like his KDA. But looking at the build from Vayne here, she went for that blade, I guess not Blade of the Ruined King, but went for that BF sword as opposed to the Blade of the Ruined King right off the bat, and might turn that into a Bloodthirster, which is not typical from what we see nowadays with Vayne. We usually see full attack speed builds with self-peel, things like a Static Shift, Phantom Dancer, and a Blade of the Ruined King where you can use the active, get yourself some self-peel like I had just said. But now he's going for that Bloodthirster is what it seems to be, which I'm not quite sure, or he could, you know, tickle me silly, but he could be going for something like a Mercurial Scimitar. I mean, I don't think that's the case, but it's quite possible against a team comp like this with so much CC. He does have Cleanse, but stacking that on top, I'm just throwing it out there as a possibility. I don't think it's going to happen, but just covering myself on that one. Yeah, but having the BF sword does up your tumble damage, which is something that we had seen in Season 2. With like double lift, he always used the Bloodthirster first when he was getting Vayne, so he had that extra tumble damage because it gives you, I think, a percentage of your total attack damage when you release the bolt. And then over for Haha Jean, we have the Bloodthirster coming out for MF, which is much more typical because MF is basically just a walking ultimate, and the bullet time scales directly off of AD. So the more AD you have, the better it is, and it just has so many waves to it, so you just want to stack that up. And Bloodthirster has, I believe, when you stack it up all the way, 100 damage, or 100 damage when you stack it up all the way. So that's the highest damage, flat damage item in the game, and bullet time can't crit or anything like that, so Infinity Edge isn't really the way that you go with MF. And the fact that double up also applies on hit effects, so when you use a double up, you actually get lifesteal from both bounces of it. So that's a very good thing for... That's another reason why people actually rush that Bloodthirster as well. And it looks like Shen's gonna go for that. It looks like he's just gonna go for a Sunfire Cape and just
Yes, they even picked up boots.
And I guess now that I think about it, should probably swap Zed and Elise on the little scoreboard there because Elise is mid and Zed is top. So we're just gonna go with that. And yeah, so that Rejuve bead is actually just gonna sit in his inventory. Might turn into something later, or was probably just for the early game. But he is going to go for that Blade of the Ruined King, which does so much damage. Because Zed's ultimate does 50% of all the damage that he had done, if you ultimate and then use Blade of the Ruined King, which does 15% of the person's HP, that means that just from the Blade of the Ruined King alone, you ended up doing 22% of the person's life. But then you add in his passive, which does 8% of the person's life if they're below 58% HP, which means it would do 12% of their total life. So you add those two together, and no matter what, if you get them below 50% HP, you're going to be doing 34% of the person's life. So you're going to be doing a third of their life no matter who they are in magic damage. Then you add in some resistances, but that's why you see tanks blow up from Zed's Deathmark all the time. And I think he's back in the game. We'll have it starting in just a second. But in the meantime, it looks like at least going for that penetration build I was talking about, has the boots, has the... I keep wanting to call it Leandri's Torment, but it's the Haunting Guys. Has the Haunting Guys, has the Sork Shoes, whereas Fiddlesticks only has that Seeker's Arm Guard, which really didn't help him in lane because it gives him armor. Yeah. So no resistances against Elise's damage, whereas Elise is just shredding all of Stanley's magic resist with his build. And Amumu looks like he's just going to go straight for that build that Maokai is going, but Maokai is very ahead of him right now. Very ahead of him. And both supports have the same same items pretty much, give or take a ward. And okay, so Chi is also reconnecting. I thought it was originally just the ADC, but I guess
both of them DC'd.
The bottom lane was just gone. After that fight, they were like, all right, we're out of here. But the dragon is up. The dragon looks like it would be the next point of contention, but the problem is Kun doesn't have his Stand United available, and Zed is pushing top in really hard right now. Zed is looking to get those turrets and apply that pressure to the top lane because Shen keeps leaving. You know, this is a little lore matchup, I guess, Shen versus Zed. But I believe Shen wins in the lore, so just throw a little league knowledge out there. I think he scars his face, doesn't he? I don't know.
I don't know.
I haven't read it. I've just heard things like through the grapevine.
Yeah. I think Zed is just really stacking up on that CS right now. Has 103, most CS in the game. Already pushed on those towers, and of course, Shen's just been, you know, away for so much of this game that Zed he's pretty much just free farming now, might be able to, you know, get that advantage and use it in these team fights, but I guess it depends how it all plays out. His team so far is definitely looking good. They're heading kills, having gold, ahead in towers. The jungler is doing extremely well. I guess you just have to be very, very careful of the ultimate combo that can come out of high school for health professions.
Yeah, the ultimate combo is going to be huge, but the thing is they need to have ward dominance when it comes to that. They need to have a lot of pink wards down on the map so that Fiddlesticks can't be caught out before he ultimates, because if you interrupt that Fiddlesticks ultimate, Fiddlesticks loses a lot of his damage. His Dark Wind has a long cooldown on it. He basically becomes a walking Terrify, and then his heal, his life drain, is really his only damaging tool. It has a relatively low cooldown, and you can pretty much chain it together if you have a blue buff and some CDR, but he hasn't built anything like that yet, and I don't believe he has a blue buff on him. So that'll have to be something for the end game there. But if they do interrupt his ultimate, like I said, he's not going to be as effective. So he's probably going to channel it as the crescendo comes down if they land one, because it's just so frustrating to get hit by a CC and then see the Fiddlesticks start ulting, because it happens very, very quickly. The Crow Storm comes out devastatingly quick, and I believe as you rank it up, it actually no, it's 1.5 seconds no matter what. So as you rank up your fear, that gets longer, so it ends up being 3 seconds. So Fiddlesticks could actually fear somebody and then channel his ultimate right in their face. It just becomes, you're just like, I can't do anything about this.
Dude, so apparently, AD carry for Northview High School is unable to play for whatever reason. They're gonna have to 4v5 this, so things definitely not looking good for them. Just in the rest of this match.
Yeah, and it looks like Unpause came out here. Oh, Zed's coming behind Stanley right now.
Oh, gonna be getting in there with the death mark. The stun does come off barrier, not gonna be even close to enough there. And Stanley just gets blown up from that, and looks like they will be starting this 4-man push into this mid lane.
And it looks like Scythian pinging that he needs help over here, but Okarin saying, I need to get this top, but I guess not. So I think Lishan has a lot of gold on him right now. He has 1,600, and he wants to back, but only when he can get the Blade of the Ruined King, which I believe costs 1,800 gold. Oh, they're all sitting in this bush right here into the gank. And
whoa, gonna be getting that the damage out onto Hajin. Nice Crescendo coming up as well as a tidal wave. And looks like Lishan will be going down on Kun, able to pick up this kill. Supreme Jerry does go down. So far it's a double kill for Cleanse, and looks like Scythian will be getting taken down for a triple kill for Cleanse. In a 4v4 fight there, gonna be coming up 1-3, Northview High School. Playing this game on 4v5, you might be able to make it work.
It looks like it is working out for them though, not having their ADC. They're able to pick somebody off with Zed, and they just dominated that fight. That was incredible. You couldn't even see what was happening there.
Yeah, they were all on top of each other there.
I felt a little bad for you right there. I was like, I can't see what's going on.
I'm not sure what to say here.
They're just slapping each other. That's all I can see.
So Dragon coming off that Northview High School, able to get that objective after getting the 3-4-1 in their favor. So they do have the 2 towers now, as well as that Dragon, so they're definitely getting this global gold going for them. They're about 6,000 gold ahead. 5,000 now. Gosh, math aside. 5,000 gold ahead.
Oh god, it's 5.3.
Guys. Oh
no!
I don't even know what to say at this point. Okay, so items coming off of that. Does look like Vayne might. Oh no, Vayne's DC. Never mind. Okay, so it does look like Elise is gonna be going for that Rise Crystal Scepter. Really good on for her. It does get the slowing on the exploding spider and other abilities that she has. Do you see that Zed going for Bathing King? It's like a Karen Coon gonna be beating that sound off. However, okay, so Bathing King gonna be really good for this set of course. Single target damage. Really nice, especially against, you know, how there's gonna be the Amumu and the Shen just building up that health tanking and stuff. Do have, looks like a Maokai gonna be going for the Glacial Shroud, which could go into what? Frozen Heart?
Iceborne Gauntlet is what it looks like, because he has the
Might be
Sapphire, which builds into Sheen,
yeah.
so that's what he's looking at right now.
So bottom lane, saying that I went on to Hygiene, but not gonna be able to get an engage off of that. Does seem like quite a few people are coming down to this bottom lane. Meanwhile, up in top lane, Leash, and once again, just getting that split push going on for his team. They'll be having 3 people defend this bottom lane.
And this actually became really interesting because it's a 4v5.
Stanley up in the top lane with the Coaster right on top of Legion. Gonna be able to demolish the minions, and now the tower shot's going off onto Legion, but he's not dead. He's able to get away. Meanwhile, down the bottom lane, Twisted Van's going up on the side beyond. He does get the bullet time as well as that Curse of and the Crescendo does come off. However, they are on the backbeat. High School for Health Professions are getting taken down. Career Bread with a double kill. And it looks like they'll be able to get a 2 for 0 from that exchange. Top lane tower did get down about a little bit, just pretty low there. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we'll be having a Karen Coon trying to push this one up, but looks like this bottom tower might be going down.
That was really strange because Okarin left bottom when there was really no reason to do so. Stanley was taking care of Leash in there, and Okarin said, I'm going to ditch this bottom, make it a 3v3. And as soon as he left, Korea Bread went right in and started locking up the team, and they couldn't get away. Scythian tried to get in there. The tidal wave was great for interrupting Haha Jean's bullet time. It was really well placed. The Crescendo came out not as effective as Supreme Jerry would have wanted it to be, but still, it was a really bad trade there, and now that puts them 7k up for Northview. So High School for Health Professions, you know, this isn't just a struggle, it's also a little embarrassing too, because it's a 4v5 without Vayne, who's the hyper carry.
Yeah, this is so unfortunate for them, but they do have quite a bit of damage coming off. But once again, they could absolutely get demolished if there's just, you know, nice team fight coming off from the side of High School for Health Professions, getting those ultimates off in sync. However, 606 Maokai, 6 from 1 and 3 Elise. They might have quite a bit to deal with, just with how much damage that Northview High School could output. Already, Riley's Scepter finished up on the Elise now, really ahead of this Phil6. Phil6 doesn't even have the Sonic Hourglass yet, and he doesn't even have boots right now, so going to be a bit unfortunate. Just for a High School for Health Professionals, obviously, you know, if they just wait this until late game, when everyone's just gonna, you know, have 6 items, they're going to be having the advantage, and maybe not even like 6 item point in the game. Just from teamfights alone, if they try to go for that 5v4, most likely they'll just be able to come out for the win just because they have the numbers advantage.
And Leishan trying to do some damage there to Okarin. And over on the side, Scythian was sitting in a bush that had a ward. He was looking for some kind of engagement there with the bandage toss, but he was right on top of a ward. They have great vision here provided by Chi. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do anything about this. Leishan up top, level 13, 2 levels, or I guess now 1 level over Okarin. Has the Blade of the Ruined King, has his ultimate and Ignite ready. But
he's not winning on these trades though, he's actually half health.
No, like I was saying earlier, the sustain from Shen is just way too big, and coupled with the all the magic damage that he does with a Sunfire Cape as well, it's really hard to duel a Shen when you are a Zed. And also Shen's 3-0, he's doing very well for himself on High School for Health Professions. He has the best record on the team currently. Whereas Zed has the worst record on his team, even worse than the support, although he does have the best CS in the game. So he's been focusing on that. He doesn't care if he dies. He's pretty much a proxy singed right now. He doesn't care if he dies.
Zed.
Yeah, proxy Zed.
Yeah, it looks like he's going for that Ravenous Hydra just to really increase the pushing power that he has, which he already has quite a bit of it. And I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised if he just tries to go for the split push, because just when it comes into the later game, just on 4 and 5 engages, I really don't see
and the confidence from Okarin right here.
Yeah, Okarin actually taking quite a bit of damage here. Deathmark did come off from Leishan onto his top lane, and Knight does go down. He has that rub up to get those slows out, and Okarin going to get taken down. The shutdown, Leishan able to pick up that kill. It gets that extra bounty goal, and him back into lane just took him down. Now Leishan able to push more, and this puts so much pressure on high school for health professions now.
And that is just so scary. And that's one of those things where Shen favors the extended trades, the little poke back and forth where you can sustain in between. Not that huge out brawl.
Oh, looks like Stanley is going to be jumped on. Tidal Wave comes down. Has that on his hourglass, but not going to really get him out of that one. Cleanse picks up the kill. And now meanwhile, Leishan going to have that Curse of Mummy onto him. He's going to be able to get over with the Living Shadow. And meanwhile, the team of Northview High School is just taking down the middle inner tower.
And they leave Scythian.
Leishan going back in. And Scythian has to flash away. And it's just ridiculous. Northview High School just pressing these early game advantages that they're able to get. Really putting so much pressure down Scythian, trying to back into this tower. Standing Knight going to be coming off the cleanse and picks up the kill. Now we're probably seeing another tower push, as that was like 3 people in total, I think, in the past few minutes have been taken down. And no, they want to keep going in. Korea Bread going down under the tower. Crescendo does come up, as well as the bullet time able to hit quite a few people. It's like Cleanse is very low, has to flash away. Hajin is able to pick up Chi. Leishan is pretty low as well. It's only going to be Korea Bread. He's going to be flashing as well, but he may not even be able to get out of this one. He's pretty far behind. Going to get that twisted advance over to a minion. Now still running around. However, the flash time coming in from Ogre and Kuhn. Kill going over to Hajin, and this might be what high school for health professions need to just stay in a 4v5 game.
And that was not really a foolish dive because they did get a turret out of it, but Northview is just so confident in their abilities right now. They're up 9k right now, pretty much almost 10k in this game, down 4v5, and that really says something about how much gold that they have now, because they have 2 people who aren't CSing. They don't have Nami CSing, and they don't have Vayne CSing because she's gone for some reason. So they only have 3 members of their team actually accumulating gold, and the jungler isn't doing a huge job of CSing either, but they're still staying so far ahead with just kills and the tiny bit of CS that everybody's accumulating. And it's, you know, it's condensed on these 3 members as opposed to spread out over 4, but it's still huge. It's so funny to see these types of fights happen under turrets in a 4v5. And here comes Leishan once again up top. Doesn't have, well, actually
he didn't go for Ravenous Hydra. He went for Last Whisper instead, so
yeah,
more armor penetration for him, but not as much pushing power.
I don't know why he's holding on to that rejuve bead. You know, he still just wants the sustain for himself. He wants that tiny bit of sustain. It helped him out in the early game, and you really want that Last Whisper. You want the penetration. You want the Brutalizer into the Black Cleaver later. So he did pick up...
Oh wow, they're doing Baron.
Wow. Yeah.
20 minutes in here, we're saying Northview High School, go for this Baron. 3 manning it right now. Looks like they'll be able to do this pretty easily.
Yeah, there's no vision on it. Chi is in the middle, just taunting the rest of the team. And High School for Health Professions is probably a little scared right now, despite it being a 4v5. They are so behind. And Northview just looks so strong. Like I said, they haven't dropped a game in this entire tournament. They have gone 2-0 all throughout it. So we're really seeing why. They're so coordinated. They know exactly where they need to be, and they know who to put the CS on and who to push whatever lane. Because Leishan almost has that 10 per minute CS mark right here. And he's probably going to hit it in like a wave or 2 if he keeps this up. But he's level 17. He's the highest level in the game by 3 levels. Nobody even comes close to him. Nobody's 15 yet. He has the 3rd rank of his ultimate. Nobody else does. He's going to be so deadly. Nobody can 1v1 him right now. And that really helps in this 4v5 situation because 2 people have to deal with him. And you better hope that one of them isn't the ADC because he's just going to blow them up. You're going to need 2 people dealing with him, possibly both tanks, just slowly whittling him down and hopefully trading off whoever has the death mark. So this is going to be really scary. And now they have a Baron buff.
It's a Fiendish Codex on Okarin Kun. What is he building that into?
A Fiendish Codex on Okarin?
Yeah.
I have no idea. You know that
What's this?
That'll
Fiendish.
No, I
cool.
I don't know what he's gonna build it into on Shen, because I usually don't see that coming out for Shen players. But
well, let's see. It builds into Athene's Unholy Banner Command. He does have the Emblem of Valor if he wants to
so
go
he's
for a Banner
going,
of
he's
Command.
going for a Banner of Command.
I guess. I mean, the other thing I think he would go for is Nash's Tooth, which is, you know, like attack speed. But
So he has a little bit of both.
I don't even know. Anyways,
no,
bottom lane tide does go down.
I don't know if he's going for an Aegis or not because
Yeah.
Scythian already has the components for an Aegis. So
Yeah.
either there's a miscommunication there or they're going double Aegis.
It's totally Banner
I
Command.
think he's going for a Banner Command. He could be going for a Nashor's Tooth, but I do believe that there are better picks. For Shen, you could go for a Blade of the Ruined King or Trinity Force, which was just buffed to have 200% on the spell blade as opposed to 150. So it's even better. And Lee Shin gets taunted under turret. Gets away
look at
pretty
this.
quickly.
Just the pressure from Northview High School in a 4v5. And it's an AoE comp as well. They're just not scared. They really want to put out this pressure. And of course, that's really what they have to do when they're 4v5. They have to apply so much pressure, get these lanes pushing, and, you know, just really keep their advantages over High School for Health Professions. Otherwise, you know, the High School for Health Professions will just be able to pull the number advantage on them eventually into this game somehow.
But I don't think it's going to happen now because if they keep everybody grouped up, you have 5 people splitting experience as opposed to 4 people or 3 people because we have Lee Shin constantly going to other lanes. So that's why we see this huge level advantage coming out here, and this gold discrepancy too. We see Lee Shin has so much farm for himself, and he is so confident just split pushing this other lane, and that nobody could really answer for what he's doing. It is so scary to see his Zed like that, and also because the difference is the ADCs. One team has an ADC, the other doesn't because Vayne is gone. But Lee Shin can take out Haha Jin immediately. He's an MF. All he can do is run away or flash, and Living Shadow will close that distance after he uses the Death Mark. So what he can do is he can just Death Mark somebody. He can Death Mark Haha Jin. Haha Jin flashes away. He Living Shadows to him, and then blows him up. Then uses his ultimate again to go back to where he originally was and just walk away.
Oh my gosh! Wow, cleanse is huge burst damage. Just immediately takes out Supreme Jerry. Does take out quite a few tower shots. No Kun gonna be getting that tons off on the Chi tower. Does come out flash away from Chi. As Career Bread does want to go in here. Here comes Lee Shin from the side. Deathmark going up onto High. Jimmy flashes, gets that bullet time going down. The Crow Storm coming off. And just look at the damage coming from the AoE. Oh, that was pretty much an ace coming off from these guys. A 2-4 ace, which is, that is the AoE comp that we needed to see coming off from the Crow Storm, the bullet time. All those alternatives. Actually, we didn't even see a crescendo in that fight because, of course, Supreme J was bursted down, but a nice team fight coming off from High School for Health Professions.
And I believe that Northview had the Baron, and it wore off in the middle of that fight. I believe that's what I saw. But regardless, that was still a really good fight there for High School for Health Professions. They ended up going and getting their ultimates well placed there. Scythian getting a really good Curse of the Sad Mummy. The bullet time, not as long as it could have been because he got popped in the middle of that. Okarin-kun did use his Stand United so that Haha Jin could live a little longer. But Stanley, I think, was the one who got the best ultimate there. The Crow Storm right in the middle of everybody, was able to silence them because nobody interrupted him, and that was perfect for him. That's what he needed. He is probably, the weight of this game is probably on Stanley's shoulders right now. But at the same time, Northview has to think, if we don't see that Fiddlesticks, we probably shouldn't go. And yes, that was a banner of command, because down bottom we see that sieged up minion pushing that wave. And that was really a little startling to see. I went down, I was like, oh my god, that minion's huge. I'm like, promote is back? No, I just haven't seen a banner in command in so long.
Yeah, so you know, with that, they'll be able to just kind of get the anti-push going, even though that might be what they're going for, just to stop the huge push that's already coming off from Northview High School. But I think High School for Health Professions probably feeling a little bit more brave after that engage, just finally getting those ultimates off for them.
Yeah, I think
with that fight is that Cleanse was just low at the beginning of it. Like, he was so low after taking out Supreme Jerry, is that he really wasn't able to do too much in that fight without going down very quickly.
No, and I do think that the Banner of Command is a good pickup, though. Like you said, if he can put that on a side lane, like the right lane, and then they all go up to the top lane, I guess the bottom lane, and they all go up to the top lane, then that lane's going to push as they stall in that top lane. So then what's going to happen is eventually somebody's going to have to pull off and go in that direction. Oh, they look for a catch there, but a great ward there.
Oh, yep, gonna be seeing the group up coming in. Oh, that band shot's not gonna be the land. Nice Aqua Prison. It does look like High School for Health Professions want to go on the offensive here. Wards are coming out from both of these teams. There's the Oracles on Cheetah to really just deny out that vision, but I don't know. Is Baron coming up soon? Is that what they're going for here? Let me scroll back and see if Baron. Where did Baron go down?
It should be coming.
22:51.
It should be coming very soon. Yeah, it should be up right now.
And they're pausing. Okay.
And they're pausing right now. So, not sure what they're talking about. I did hide my chat. I didn't do that at the beginning, but you know, good on me now. So Shen's doing a really good job in this game, CSing. He has the second most on his team. He has the most. He has the best KDA on his team. But MF is also doing a really good job now. Hajin, 7-5-4, has a lot of kills in his favor, but that at least this assassin comp that NV is running, that Northview, they are doing a really good job of picking off high priority targets. But that last fight, we didn't see the picks fast enough, and I kind of would say that Hahajin was low enough that Lishin actually didn't need to go on him. I think Fiddlesticks might have been a better target to pressure, so he couldn't get the ultimate off in time. Because what we ended up seeing there was Stanley just jumped in with a Crow Storm and annihilated everybody. Just got them all so low, and they were able to pick them all up and basically go. What you said was an ace, but yeah, it was kill all 4 of them, minus the one that's sitting in the base AFK.
They'll be able to kill him eventually if they're able to get there. They can just go for the Fountain Dive. Unless, wait, does he have like the oh, he does. Never mind. He has 1,000 armor, 1,000 magic resist. Okay, that might stop them from Fountain Diving him. Anyways.
Yeah,
so
I really wonder what's going on with Korea for Life, because if you can't reconnect or. You know,
no, they just said that he can't play for the rest of the game, so we won't get into that.
He was probably ganked by mom.
Yeah, something like that.
that
isn't that a Korean player?
Yeah, yeah.
Screen name? Okay.
Yeah, he's a mid laner for Frost, I believe.
I don't know.
He's a sub though.
I just realized 309 CS on Lishin on Zed.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job.
He's over the 10 CS per minute mark actually. Just by like 7 seconds though, but he's still over the 10 CS per minute mark.
Yeah, it's easier to get that later in the game because early on in the game there's that first 2 minutes where there aren't any CS coming into the lane. The creeps aren't even in the lane yet until about 2 minutes. Yeah. So that means you have 2 minutes worth of CS to make up. And then as the game progresses, you can clear jungle camps, you can clear these lanes that are all blocked up. And the fact that it's a 4v5 means that he's able to clear out other lanes because there's no vein farming. So
yeah,
that also helps a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, and of course that just has ridiculous pushing power because he has the shadow coming up and he has like 2 abilities coming out. He doesn't even have that Ravenous Hydra. And speaking of his ability, he does have that Maw, so really nice for that magic resist coming in. It looks like Shen picked up another Giant's Bow. What do you think he's gonna go with that?
I think he's gonna turn that into a Randuin Zoman.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's really what he wants. I think he wants to peel for Misfortune. So I think that he does have the cloth armor, which will turn into a Warden's Mail, and then eventually that'll turn into a Randuin Zoman, which might be just for dueling Zed and being able to take care of him. But it's only going to affect Zed. It's not going to affect Elise too much. Vayne is not here, so it's not going to affect her at all. And yeah, I don't know how much it's going to do for him, but it might help him duel Zed. Zed, not exactly auto attack based. He just needs 1 or 2 auto attacks, really, because most of his kit is just for burst. And the shadows do a lot of work multiplying his damage. But he just uses the auto attack for his passive when they're below 50% HP. A little bit of poke there and chase. But like I said, not sure how much good it's going to do him. He is very far ahead right now. Lishin is just doing so well for himself. Level 18.
Yeah.
Level 16 is the highest level on the other team. So, you know, but as time goes on, the gold discrepancy and level discrepancy means less and less because they start catching up because there's max level is 18. So everybody's going to hit 18 eventually. And then everybody's going to hit 6 items eventually if the game goes on long enough.
Yeah.
And then if you have 4 people with 6 items as opposed to 5 people with 6 items, it's a huge difference. So if High School for Health Professions can carry it out long enough, then they do have a chance at winning. But at the same time, they just lost Scythen. So I don't know if it's going to end up being a 4v4. Or what's going to happen here?
He said he's loading in, so hopefully...
Okay.
Hopefully we get this, hopefully we get this going down. So... I was about to start talking about Vayne's. I was like, wow, Vayne's so behind. I just realized that she's not in this game. Anyways,
Vayne is so behind. It's like she hasn't been here. Where has he been?
So, we see this misfortune actually going for, it looks like a black cleaver. And he's not even going for attack speed right now. He does have that Q to increase. No, wait. Wait, does he have?
What, attack
speed? Oh my
speed?
Gosh. No, yes, the W.
The W, yeah, the W is an attack speed steroid when you activate it. But yeah, he goes for the black cleaver because every wave of the bullet time applies the effect to everybody who gets hit by it. So can just shred so many people's armor right there, which is really only going to help her. But all right, looks like we're having the unpause coming out here. There is an Oracles on Chi, so they are in a place to contest Baron.
Oh wow, but no, they're rushing for this inhibitor right off of the pause. We're going to be seeing this instead going up onto Supreme J from Korea Bread. But it looks like this should be the easy inhibitor because the team of High School Health Professionals wasn't there, but there's our Karen Kun with the taunt on the Chi, but oh, the spear did go down to Leech, and he has to go over the wall with the Living Shadow, and looks like that mob will be procced, and he'll be able to live through that, the Ignite there. And it looks like they are going to be going over for Dragon now. That we're just backing off. They just picked up an inhibitor, so they'll just be able to apply even more pressure for the next like 5 minutes, 6 minutes. However long inhibitors are down for.
I believe inhibitors are 5 minutes.
Okay, there you go. So with that, they'll be going back, picking up a few items. We're seeing the Abyssal Scepter coming off from Elise now. So getting some more Magic Pen coming in there. Pretty much Magic Pen. You know, reducing magic resist is pretty much the same thing. And we're going to help boost the damage, I think, onto Maokai as well. Looks like he might be going for what? He's going for Negatron Cloak, so might be going for the Banshee's Veil now. Or Spirit Visage. Ooh, Spirit Visage would be really nice for his passive, actually.
Yeah,
anyways.
Yeah, it would be, actually. So
yeah,
we're going to see Zed down bottom, pushing once again, trying to apply pressure to that bottom. So they're putting them in this catch-22 situation. They're saying either you stop the Zed and make a 4v4 on Baron, or 4v3 on Baron, or you let Zed push in a turret all the way. Because if somebody goes and duels Zed, Zed's probably going to win right now, even if it is Ocarin.
Yeah, and he's Shen, that's like the most ideal match because he has a Stand United, but you know, right when he goes to Stand United, I wouldn't be surprised if Lee Shin just went in for, you know, a huge burst onto him. Anyways, Lee Shin just taking down that entire, not even caring about Ocarin Kun. He might be able to get out of this one. He has Sona with him. Oh, the slow gonna be going off onto Lee Shin, but no, Living Shadow comes off, and meanwhile, with all 5 members of High School for Health Professionals in the bottom lane, Northview High School starts up on this 3-man Baron, and it looks like they'll be able to take it. Scythian is trying to get here fast enough, but he may not be. Baron's over at 1,000 health. Scythian gonna be going in inside the pit right now.
Oh, he gets it!
To steal away the Baron, and there's a crossover as well as the bullets time coming off. Cleanse gets destroyed. All 2 members of Northview High School do go down, but meanwhile in the bottom lane we do see Lee Shin still trying to push this one out, and looks like Career Bread, he's gonna be able to stop the back coming up from Stanley. Lee Shin down in the bottom lane. There is Hygiene trying to get into there, has to strike going for him, but Lee Shin is taking down the minions, taking down this bottom Nexus tower. Career Bread is chasing onto Scythian right now, and looks like Lee Shin might be able to still get away. Going over to Career Bread now, up in this top lane, running away. He's running so quickly for a tree, has those mobility boots, and this is just absolutely devastating for High School for Health Professionals. They're able to get Baron, able to take out 2 people, but Lee Shin, that's Zed just able to push the entire bottom lane now.
Oh man.
Wow.
That was actually funny to me. That was so good. Korea Bread stops all of the backs right in their face, just like this tree comes out of the bush, throws a punch at you, and then just walks back. He just manned up, went all into them. That was the manliest tree I have ever seen. That was so good.
Oh my! And look at Lee Shin. He's just gonna be taking away these objectives. Just took Baron or Dragon. Now going for this rip up, and it doesn't even matter that Northview High School lost that Baron because they just took so much more advantage off of that one.
Yeah, they got 2 inhibitors off of it. They got 1 inhibitor, which makes it 2 inhibitors now, and it really also shows that Lee Shin can duel Ocarin, and he did a really good job there when he went on the turret, because he noticed that Ocarin didn't have enough energy to taunt. because it takes a lot of energy to taunt.
Yeah.
He saw that I have like 40 energy. When Shadow Dash takes like 120, he was like, I can go in. I can get this turret. No way he's going to taunt me. There's no way Shen gets energy back that fast. I'm just going to take this. Took it, and then Shen had no answer for that. And then he drove. He had like 3 people coming at him, started to run away. Then they all went to Baron, and then he turned around and just continued to push. Got the inhibitor, got that first Nexus turret, and it was just such a great play there all around for Northview High School.
And the thing is, like, what we even think is that High School for Health Professions, they have that AoE comp coming in. I mean, they absolutely destroyed the people in the Baron pit. Like, the last team fight that they won was with that AoE, but they're just getting split pushed so much by Lee Sin, and they're having so much pressure put onto them is that they're really just not able to get that comp going because they have to, you know, stop Lee Sin from backdooring, or they have to, you know, try to stop this Baron. But when they try to go do one of those objectives, then Lee Sin will just be pushing someone because he has gotten to that point where, just as you were saying, no one can duel him.
Yeah, and you know what? I hate to say it, but I love that this game is a 4v5 because it almost makes it look more even. It's terrible to say.
4v5. And look at Lee Sin gonna get fear, but he's going with that death mark onto Stanley. Stay Knight is coming out. Tidal Wave. There's the Crescendo gonna be a hit Chi as well as Lee Sin here. And looks like Chi is gonna get pretty low. Meanwhile, on the backline though, Korea Bread gonna be taken down, it looks like. However, Plan's able to pick up the kill onto Stanley. Scythian did go down, and Karen Kun is still in here, gonna be getting that tackle off. Here comes the bullet time, able to pick up the double kill. I think that one, no, triple kill. Lee Sin, meanwhile, trying to get in here, have exhausted his put down to him, but it looks like he'll just go ahead and sell for this inhibitor because the team of High School for Health Professions, the last remaining members here, have to defend against these